It's Friday, June 23, 2023. Welcome to the morning news here on TV3 with me, Godwin Asideba. Coming up this morning. In the bulletin this morning, police CID intensify hunt for robbery suspect who killed an officer in a bullion van attack. And you should be grabbing your umbrellas this morning because the Ghana Meteorological Agency warns of more rains in coming days. Later on the international front, all 5 people on board Titan sub dead after catastrophic implosion. Details of these and some other stories coming your way shortly. Do stay with us. This bulletin is live on DSTV channel 279. We are also streaming on Facebook across the world on TV3 Ghana. Do share your thoughts and comments with us. The details now. The Police Criminal Investigations Department, CID, has commenced investigations into the latest armed robbery attack on a bullion van at Ablekuma Fan Milk Star Oil filling station in Accra. A policeman was allegedly shot and killed when some suspected robbers attacked the bullion van he was escorting in the mid-hours of Thursday and bolted with an unspecified amount of money. The police, in a statement, sympathized with the family of the slain officer and promised to arrest the culprits. I was there yesterday and came through with a full report. Residents of Fan Milk Ablekuma are living in shock and in fear, and this is because a tragic incident happened here on Thursday, June 22, 2023, after a bullion van was attacked. Now, this is the story. According to eyewitness, the bullion van drove in here at the Star Oil filling station when 2 people allegedly came in and started shooting into the air. A team from the police CID has been here for the past 3 hours, and you can clearly see that the entrance part of the Star Oil filling station has been barricaded through to the exit point of it. Now they are in there trying to, get their own investigations to know exactly what happened before proper investigations can begin.
Get this 7 million, oh, mommy, change, all of a sudden, banker, no, a inside. Into a inside, no. In the short period, within a short seconds, in 1 minute, and motorbikes, it's about 2. And I'm starting some of my warning shoot. Blah. Master, me need to say. In fact, I don't know who answer about who's wedding. It's the former funny say. In the 2 name, said the 2 name, me boost it in a mere me dark animal.
I thought people at the filling station, there were workers there, plastering and all that too. They had lied down flat. So I was like, what is going on? Not knowing that already taking the money and the one with the gun. I think all of them had guns, but the one with the very bigger gun, he was in the middle of the road. And then I think he wanted to prevent people from taking videos, but people were not even around.
We have been told by some shop owners here at Ablekuma that during the shooting incident, they had bullets passing through the shops. Now, this is a hole that has been created at the upper part and the lower part of this container. The owner of this container tells me that he was inside when he heard a very strong noise, and right after the armed robbers left the premises, he came out and saw these holes, which he suspects might be some bullets that might have passed through these holes that has been created. Meanwhile, security analyst Emmanuel Cotin says following the increasing nature of such robberies, which has left a number of officers dead, the police should disobey such assignments to save themselves if the right measures are not put in place to protect them. He spoke on News 360.
I think the police personnel should refuse lawful orders to sit in such bullion vans. And I think it will be a lawful action of disobeying such orders. And I mentioned that, and we should put the blame on the authorities in charge. The laws had been made clear, and deadlines were put in place. And these operators continue to violate this deadline in the name of politics. Because I dare say that under what circumstances, Portia, can any serious country regulate a policy? And this policy was passed by Parliament, and implementation is an issue, if not politics. So that's why I'm saying that the personnel should disobey such orders to sit in bully vans that does not meet the specification as spelled out in the order from Parliament, directing Bank of Ghana to make sure that these bully vans have some security specifications to protect both those inside and the civilians.
We definitely believe that the police will bring the perpetrators to book as they have promised in their statement. And in the western region, residents of Wassa Dominasi blamed illegal mining skill as their woes as hundreds of households were displaced in many communities across the region.
We'll be building in our wetlands, the bridges and the roads that we've constructed. The rains will find their way for us, and they will get destroyed. And always you would think, and like people say, the engineers did not do well. But they look at the stream, the strength of it, before they construct the bridge. Bridge is not just being constructed that you go there and you put it up. But those people that they are expect, that they've encroached the banks, that they know the activities is causing the flooding, will then come and say that the engineers and contractors did not perform. That is not the case. Let us do our individual path. And at the end of the day, we will have the benefit of the rains that is coming for other activities. And at the end of the day, we have incident free. Our life is precious.
The Ghana Meteorological Agency says more heavy rains are expected in the coming days, cautioning the public to move to higher grounds. Reports from across the country indicate that lives and property have been lost in recent floods as a result of the rains. Well, the Deputy Director of Forecast at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Joseph Potofi, says the middle and coastal belts should expect more rains between now and the middle of July. You definitely should be grabbing your umbrellas this morning because it has been drizzling in the capital. That's if you're yet to move from your home. But away from that, caterers of the school feeding program have called off their strike following agreements reached with government. The caterers have been asked to return to schools upon reopening next month.
Feeding program have been on strike since the beginning of the second term of the 2023 academic year 4 months ago. They have been demanding payment of their arrears, which dates as far back as 3 years, and also an increment in the 90 pesos feeding cost per pupil to 3 cedis. The caterers say their engagement with government has yielded fruitful outcomes and have called off their strike. President of the association, Charlotte Ashaki Asante, however, adds they will keep pressing for a 3 cedis increment in government's 1 cedi 20 pesos proposal. Well, children who depend on this intervention can look forward to enjoying their meals when school resumes. Grace Hamwa Ajaman, TV3 News, Accra.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Gbagben, has criticized the imposition of taxes on sanitary pads, suggesting a review of the next budget to make the product more affordable for women and girls. He was addressing members of the House after receiving a petition calling for the tax removal.
Imposing tax on sanitary pads. This is unconscionable. It's a cardinal sin. The House shouldn't have allowed it at all. This House shouldn't have allowed it. You know the impact of that law on the human resource development and on the development of this country is immeasurable. That is why I suspended sitting and had to attend to them. I have a copy of the petition, and we have to take immediate action to prevent whoever is the minister proposing that thing to take it off. The next budget, it must not appear, it cannot be a tax. Please, I take a very serious view on this matter. It was even raised at a forum in Tamale. Why? This parliament have imposed some restrictions on itself. If you look at the concept in our democracy, the option that we've chosen, which is captured in our constitution, the executive is not powerful, more powerful than parliament. It's not. Read it properly. But this is self-imposed. We have just handed over all our powers to exactly what the Supreme Court said recently. We gave our authority to the executive to be imposing restrictions during the COVID era. I stated it on the floor here that it was wrong for Parliament to legislate and give its responsibility, hand it over silver platter to the executive. The Supreme Court has ruled, saying that was unconstitutional. Why? Why should we do that?
Former Secretary of the now-defunct Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Bissiou, has withdrawn one of his lawsuits against the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Charles Bissiou filed 2 suits against the Special Prosecutor, one seeking to annul the arrest warrant issued by the OSP against him, and a second one praying the court to give an order preventing the Special Prosecutor from investigating him. In court on Thursday, lawyers of Charles Bissiou said their client had instructed them to withdraw the application seeking to annul the arrest warrant issued by the OSP against him. On Wednesday, Charles Bissiou was arrested, interrogated and released on bail after he returned himself in at the office of the OSP 2 weeks after refusing to honor the invitation of the Special Prosecutor, who was investigating corruption or corruption-related offense leveled against the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. We have been bringing you some updates regarding the recent documentary that was released by myself, High on Glue, and here are some of the details.
High on Glue is a revealing documentary of how young men are wasting their lives away, addicted to sniffing glue in Ghana. For them, it is a cheaper alternative to hard drugs. A significant addiction issue that began in a small tube is stealthily destroying lives. The adhesive glue contains toluene, a sweet-smelling and intoxicating hydrocarbon, which is neurotoxic. The solvent dissolves the membrane of the brain cells and causes hallucinations, as well as dampening hunger pangs and warts of cold. A clinical psychologist, Dr. Derek Opong, worries that if the abuse is not stopped, it could result to many deaths.
People who sniff glue over a period of time are likely to have irregular heartbeats, and this can lead to other more serious heart conditions and eventually heart failure.
Once we get them early.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Dr. Pinaman Apau, believes awareness, community engagement and counseling can reduce the developing menace.
It's been part of our programs, should I say, to increase awareness amongst the youth about these substances, and so we've been doing that over the past years and so on. So yes, we will continue in the creation of awareness. Mental Health Authority cannot work on its own, so now we are reaching better to the other agencies so that we can collaborate with them to be able to reach the community as much as possible.
A member of Parliament for Techima North, Elizabeth Ofuswe-Jare, an area noted as a hub for glue sniffers, blames their act on weak and structureless governance.
People in Techima North are hardworking. So long as there is something for them to do, they will do it to the best of their ability. I think that the government is not paying attention anywhere, because I don't see anywhere in Ghana that the youth are finding jobs to do. So it's a general bad governance issue.
These people who are severely addicted to drugs and glue need special rehabilitation, which is difficult given the expensive treatment. Although glue sniffing has been linked to significant morbidity and mortality, it is still an under-researched and poorly recognized issue globally. At least half of Kenya's street children are said to be addicted to glue, according to a recent study by a Kenyan group rehabilitating street children. The trend of glue sniffing is quite new in India, Pakistan and Nepal compared to other countries in Latin America, Southeast Asia, South Africa and Ghana. Nepalese activists want their country to apply strict measures as taken in Kenya, which will have laws against applying harmful substances like glue to minors. Social media went agog after the premiere of the documentary.
In South Africa, you need a special permit before anyone can sell you a super glue, and mostly glue are sold at the pharmacy. But Charlie, even now this trend enter Ghana. I already knew this alternative long time ago.
I witnessed some at my old high school in 2021. It was the involvement of final year students. May God help us.
Some people are wondering about the post, but this glue thing did since my grandma was in primary school.
Some primary students, including girls, are also sniffing it.
That is why glue is expensive these days.
Alright guys, I'm done for today. I'll see you all tomorrow. Well, that's quite revealing, I must say, but as I leave work today to drive home, I will certainly keep an eye out for a similar situation. I may not see substance abuse on the way again, but the reality of the situation is pervasive. People are still very desperate in all parts of Ghana, and the tragedies of poverty affect us all. Godwin Asidiba, TV3 News, Accra. Well, if you haven't seen the documentary, you can visit our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube as well, TV3 Ghana, to get yourself updated about what some youth are doing about their lives regarding drug or substance abuse. Well, pensioner bondholders continue to fight for their hard-earned money, resuming picketing at the Finance Ministry to address 6 outstanding unpaid coupons. My colleague Judith Awachitando was there and came through with the following report.
The message for the diaspora: don't come. They won't give you your money. They'll bring you here and chop your money. Don't come to Ghana.
Tensions are hiding here at the Finance Ministry as pensioner bondholders have resumed picketing here. Their deal is based on one thing: the non-payment of 6 outstanding coupons, which is getting them more and more frustrated.
I have quite a few dependents. One of them has a chronic kidney disease stage 3. We can't even afford to go and do a lab test for her. We can't buy medication. She has other medical complications. We can't buy her medication. One of the medications has jumped from 400 cedis to 800 cedis. We can't buy it anymore. The other one has a very high blood pressure. If she doesn't get her medication, she'll have a stroke and end up most likely in hospital. And that will be another problem on top of another problem.
Christopher, Barbia's son, has joined his mother from the UK to demand what is due them. According to him, the investment in government bonds are proceeds from the sale of family property.
I followed my mum here because she's spent the last 15 years working hard, asking me to send her money from the UK, living without food and things, struggling to earn money to win our family properties back. We've managed to win our family properties back. She sold the property, and then we said, right, we'll invest this money so we can help all of our family and those in our wider community. She did that, and she invested it into these government bonds. Now, these government bonds have been removed from her. She's not getting any of her coupons anymore, and it's a stress. She's having nightmares. She's just not the same person as she was before.
Well, you would recall that the pensioners had earlier threatened to send the Ministry of Finance to Shraj in case they do not heed to their calls. Well, their convener, Dr. Edouanani Intri, has been given updates on that.
Government say it's difficult to pay. Nevertheless, we say we will write you a letter of demand. Let us have your response. And if we get your response and you still say you are not going to pay, we will take it as not treating your citizens fair. We are taking it as an administrative justice matter. and therefore we will submit the matter to SHRAG. So we are waiting for the response from government, and then we take that further action.
Judith Chitando, TV3 News, Ministry of Finance, Accra.
We want our money.
We want our money.
Give us our money.
Really heartbreaking. Let's turn our attention to the international front now. All 5 passengers on board the Titan submersible have died, the U.S. Coast Guard says. Rear Admiral Mugar confirmed that part of the Titan were found approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic wreck. The debris discovered was consistent with a catastrophic implosion, he told reporters. The Rear Admiral says they cannot confirm whether the bodies can be recovered, saying it is an incredibly unforgiving environment. Offering the Coast Guard's deepest condolences to the families, the Rear Admiral adds, "I can only imagine what this has been like for them." Earlier, the vessel operator, Ocean Gate, said our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time. Let's in the world of news with me, Godwin Asidibaba. The show continues with Roland Walker and Ajua Nuala. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. And that last international story is always sad, from the time that they were looking for them.
Yeah.
And subsequently getting there.
Really heartbreaking.
Very heartbreaking.
Very
heartbreaking.
Yeah, but what's up for today? It's Friday. Easy breezy Friday.
Ajua.
It is. I mean, we have quite a number of stories that we'll be, discussing here on the show. We have interviews as well on the show this morning, and so we'll be getting into that very soon. But thank you so much, Godwin.
But have you been able to, have a look into the documentary that was aired on Wednesday?
I got a sense of it, and honestly,